So there's code on screen. Pause if you need to look at it at any length. I'll go over it, but have I mentioned that plungers are a savior to cleaning, hygiene, and all that? I'll explain that later, but we'll go over the code first. Again, you've seen this before, but it might have been a while. The thumbnail should let you know there's also going to be no end screen, kind of as a compensation, because I was supposed to get something done and I didn't get it done. So, but yeah, just normal things, setting a range of RNG to variable of numbers 1 through 100, and basically you're rolling like a 1d100, or you're setting up RNG. So when you do a strong attack with this chainsaw, you proc the chance. Now, I think all of these, or is it 50%? I think it's always guaranteed, right? I'm going absolutely crazy. But either way, the meat of the code is that each of these blocks is essentially going to spit out another message. There is a better way to make this, but I just figured I'd leave it as is for now, because this works perfectly fine as well. It's just that it's a bit... You're not supposed to nest a bunch of statements in statements like this. There is a nicer way to code all of this. But, again, this will work perfectly fine, especially if you just want to get something conceptually complete. I bit my tongue, and we will move on to the run. So, as we hopefully have everything set up. If you're wondering why this is not perm 1.48, it's because I don't think it's available yet at the time of this video, as we randomize our run with the Rufu Scars, and we have to play as Nurse Miku, because I want to give Nurse Miku the perm things that I'm working on. But otherwise, as we get into this run, so yeah, quickly, no end screen for this video, because I don't feel good doing that when I know I have not done what I want to do, and I'll leave that kind of vague. I forgot what I was on. I was just gonna say Goizo. So, for timestamp's sake, as we get into Goizo Scars random item stats Miku, here's the hand chainsaw. You've seen this before. If you haven't seen it before, then generally I can just give this to you, but I don't know how I would use it in perm. It would probably be something available in the occult shop, funny enough, but it's a strength weapon, so I might want to change things. But yeah, without further ado, I don't think I'm going to inspect this, because I don't think I changed the inspection thing. However, I will equip it, because we don't have the syringe anymore, because the whole point is that you have this on and you can't unequip it. So, yeah, as we get Toxisan, Light, Strength, Knowledge, Dexterity, and maybe a second mystery check. A small little thing I can mention about unequipping. So, even if there is some bugged way to unequip certain items, you can basically just add a penalty to losing the item, because it's not always 1-to-1. For example, when you equip an item, you can give it something like, hey, increase your character's strength by 2. But that doesn't mean that when you unequip it, for those who don't know how perm custom content works, that doesn't mean when you unequip it, that strength goes down by 2. You have to actually tell the code that you want to decrease strength by 2, to undo the strength that you gave the player when you equipped it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep 2 strength, and that's something to keep in mind of. Again, I think it's better that way. It shouldn't undo. The code shouldn't be like both ways, in that one line of code is for equipping and unequipping, and that would be that could result in some bugs as well. So, if anyone was curious, that's not my personal opinion, that's just me making an observation on what someone might say. Vigil, Recluse, Arms, Valentine's ends. We actually have to look for Valentine's, but Handkerchief. Unless Valentine's is not on this board. Never mind. And actually it is, right? Yeah, it is. So Valentine's, Handkerchief, Arms, and Recluse instead of Vigil. So, as I like to do the Valentine's for my own house rule, if nothing else, take it first, but otherwise... yeah, plunger. So, a lot happened in the last 26 hours-ish for me. 26 specifically, because I took a nap for 2 hours. I did not mean for it to be a power nap. That is literally just my body going crazy. So, as we actually take this ritual mask... yeah, that's all I have to say at the moment. And part of that, though, to get more focused as we kind of autopilot for a moment, I'll talk about the hand chainsaw when we get into an encounter, because that's where it is relevant, except for this encounter, because we're going to instead use the trinket. Actually, no, we talk about it now. So, we're going to trinket until we get the heart, because we need to do the heart mechanic. Oh, my sweet goodness, I did all 3. But... the next thing to note here is that, so, the hand chainsaw does 5 on a strong attack. It's supposed to be guaranteed, I think, and if it's not, well, we're going to find out, because that means I would have to debug it before I release it. Otherwise, I spit out a message just to tell you that you're doing extra damage. I think that was 11, right? Am I going crazy? Well, anywho. At least I know that part of the code is working, so a little small aside or tangent as I autopilot here for a moment, is that I do often like to add basically debug messages or message logs or spit out a message to myself if no one else, so that I know that code is executed. Now, that doesn't always mean it's executed, even though I just said the same sentence twice, but trust me when I say you can get through a block of code that spits out a message and you're like, oh, it spits out a message. That means it must have done all of those lines or that whole block of code. That's not always true, because maybe the thing you were testing just didn't fire off for whatever reason, or didn't execute, or didn't run, whatever you want to say. And if you don't know programming at all, don't worry about it. It's really a me thing. It can happen to other people, but specifically that problem happens to me more often than you would think. And yes, a lot of it is due to myself, but I won't take blame all the time, because boy, oh boy, have I run into problems. It's like, it doesn't happen most of the time, but a lot of the time, it would probably happen to me, where, again, I test lines of code, they all work well, except for one line that doesn't happen for some reason. A specific example for anyone who does know programming for the next 20 seconds is that, oh, we have no true knowledge, by the way, is that, so I make, when I'm trying to work with, we'll just keep it simple for now, functions. I throw a function and I throw a line of code afterward or beforehand, whatever I want to test the code with, and then I see the message get spit out to me on the console, and I'm like, oh yeah, it works out. And then I figure out when I actually test it, it's the function is not actually doing what it's supposed to do, because I did not build the function correctly. Now you might say at this point, just kind of handle an exception in that function, but I want to see if the function actually even activates. So that's all I'm trying to say. And again, if you don't know programming, don't worry about it. Basically, it's playtesting / testing in general that I'm talking about, which is very, very important for a game developer, or really anyone, whether you're writing fiction and you want to read over what you have, or you're making art and you want to test something out. You want to test out the design of something for, drawing scenery, drawing characters. Again, these are examples closer to me because I do these things more often, but just to kind of try and draw parallels. We take strength here because the hand chainsaw. I wasn't paying attention, so I'm just getting slapped in the face. But the hand chainsaw, just to kind of close this out, even though we're going to be using it more and more, and I'll keep noting it, it's very powerful. Strong attacks dealing 5 bonus damage. There are some nuanced situations in which you don't want a strong attack at times. And usually for me, that would be when I'm doing Desperate Struggle. Because if you have bonus damage on a strong attack for whatever reason, that can essentially equal a normal attack. In my opinion, we're moving into kind of the subjective part of this here. So, to explain what I mean by that, I know the hand chainsaw is very fast here, but say I only have 2 attacks I can do. So this is 8 damage. However, if I do a strong attack instead, this is 6 plus 5 damage. So that's 6 and 5 are bigger than both numbers of 4 and 4. Now, again, if you can fit 5 regular attacks here, again, all math stuff, you don't really need to worry about it. Also, this is a very, very this is handkerchief, by the way. I must have never purposely run into this. Now, it's not the worst thing because we're only taking 1 doom, but say if you're on medical history and you have to deal with a 40 plus HP boss, the nuance here is that you can just end up taking a bunch of injuries that you don't want, and that is quite painful. So, as we hopefully get out and don't miss, yeah, this is a very powerful weapon, but again, for this kind of series, and this is kind of a bonus episode at this point, I was actually meant to end this series earlier on, but I had this sitting around, and yeah, I might as well use it and throw it into the pack of perm stuff I want to do. Yes, I haven't released the things I wanted to release yet, but let's finally take Recluse now. And hopefully 3 knowledge is enough with adrenaline, but I guess we're gonna find out, aren't we? So, yeah, to talk about the plunger stuff. So, one of the things I did in real life in the past, moment is that around me, I had to use a plunger. And I do appreciate basically the science behind how a plunger works, because it allows you to save a lot of money, basically, or a lot of time, or both. Because that saves money when you don't have to pay someone else to take care of the problem for you. Because, and again, most service people I've dealt with, we'll just say service people, that's not exactly my situation, but just to give you the concept for the moment, Yeah, it costs more to pay someone to do something most of the time than it is to take care of it yourself. Now, there are a lot of asterisks to this, and one of them is that if you do something yourself poorly, that can result in more later on that you have to pay. Also, rip adrenaline. Hopefully we can brace. We can't, so sadness happens. But we'll do the best of what we've got. We can't trinket here because of stuff. Actually, we can actually... Nope, this is... Oh, yeah, yeah, let's just do that. I threw down... I mean, it's only 1 damage, but you never know, right? Maybe that 1 point of damage is useful. But yes, using a plunger, even if it's a small mini plunger that's about, 10 centimeters wide, that does a lot. And obviously, the bigger the plunger, the more strength that it can... the more that it can do for you. Now, for anyone who hasn't used the plunger to basically clean, say, a toilet, let's just say a toilet for the moment, if you don't need the strength needed for a bigger plunger, I'll tell you right now that if you do decide to use more than what is needed, oftentimes things will figuratively explode, not literally. Although that doesn't mean you can't break things as well. And that part of that has to do with not gravity, but suction, which is kind of gravity as well. But you'll use a lot more force. That's, I guess, the more accurate thing to say. And so if you use too much force, you can end up breaking, let's just conceptually say, a pipe. Especially if, and there are different types of pipes that you have to be very careful of. Some pipes you cannot clean with water that's too hot. Otherwise, you end up damaging the pipe. Some pipes, again, in my case, if you use a plunger that's too strong, then, well, if all you have is one big plunger, you want to be very careful with the strength that you use with that plunger, because otherwise bad things will happen. Thankfully, that's not the case for me, but that's why I said, hey, plunger among many human inventions is a very, very handy tool or genius thing. But as we move on here, I actually need... If Mayhem didn't already proc, I really need Mayhem to proc. I forgot my second encounter at this point because I've been really autopiloting. The hand chainsaws is very, very helpful. Now, you've seen me use attacks instead of strong attacks. Probably should just be using strong attacks at this point, but you never know. Maybe I miss. And maybe we run into a ghost enemy where it doesn't matter anyway. So, I think we actually just run here. Yeah, we just run here. We're on our 4th mystery with 49% doom. I have not used the trinket, so I have to use it here. Otherwise, I might end up being in trouble. So we want to get at least 1 more heart. But in Valentine's End, we might have to... I don't want to run away because I want to try to be cool, but at the same time, we might as well use adrenaline here. I haven't gotten to really use adrenaline yet, so 23 HP, right? Yeah, so again, being able to prep into a strong... one attack that does a whole bunch of... This might as well be like a mini katana. It does 9 damage, but it's relatively fast, so... I accidentally canceled. So that's something to note in the background. So let me just queue up something really quick here. If you queue up something, but then you right-click for some reason, say on the screen for whatever reason, you do, as you can see, you're seeing the launch sequence get removed. I don't think I need to go that far. And something to note as a nuance here, I use nuance a lot, but there's a detail here in which if you do a strong attack, this bonus damage isn't doubled. Some people, come ask questions like, hey, how come Desperate Struggle doesn't do a lot of damage? It's because bonus damage is not doubled. It's only base damage. But that's still very helpful, but it's easy to misunderstand, I suppose. But as we enter Valentine's End here, did we get another heart? I think I did, right? Yeah, so we need 3 minimum. I'm pretty sure I will want 4. Now, as we move into the topic of Valentine's again, because every time I play Valentine's, I talk about it, but... Let's actually, hold on. Is it help him out? Yeah, help him out for a reason. I mean, it's a mystery I made. I might as well just talk more about it as well. But as we actually succeed the dexterity check, yeah, there is something to note about using 3 to 4 hearts. I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again, is that if you have 3 hearts, I think you still have to chew through a bunch of HP, especially if you take Valentine's End last, which means the HP and the damage scaling are off the roof. So, as I sit here and take Doom in the face, The hand chainsaw will work out, but I don't know if it's going to be able to save me. We are on scars, so we're taking less damage, but I don't actually remember how much damage I'm going to be taking. I want to say it's still going to be 3 all? No, 2 all maybe. Well, we're going to find out. Follow instincts, stats don't matter. That was a fair stat roll, all things considered, but we didn't run into another enemy, so we're actually just going to sit in the school location for a moment and try and force an enemy. I don't think we're at the very end of Valentine's End. We have another investigation left, but I don't want to risk things. So we're going to actually go for 3 hearts, and then we'll find out. I only have 3 stamina as well, so I actually want a tree for stamina here. But yeah, so here I think it's better to use strong instead of desperate struggle. No, I think it's nearly the same, and it might actually be more. Depends on how many. No, it's less because you can probably only fit 2. If you can fit 3, maybe it's better. But let me just do some math. So 9, oh, actually 8, 13 damage per strong. Right? Yeah, 13 damage per strong on desperate struggle. If I do 2 attacks, that's 26. If I do 4 normal attacks, that's 32. But if you do 3 strong attacks, so that's 39. So yeah, if you can fit 3 strong attacks, then it's better than 4 normal attacks. Again, we haven't talked about accuracy at all, but I'm doing kind of a verbal shoulder shrug, but I think you get where I'm trying to go here. And if you don't, basically, there's a lot of math involved in your strategy, and you should do math if you want to survive a run, if you really want to survive a run for whatever reason. That was the time when I should have used the thingamajiggy. We can still do so, because I don't like being slower for what we're about to do. So, let's see if this chainsaw is actually going to save me. This should be a curse I can get rid of, right? It goes away at the end of the mystery, but this is the mystery in which we do not want time action speed slowed down if we are going to fight the boss. Again, I'm not really penalized. You're not really penalized for avoiding this, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I should add a penalty, but I mean, perm is already that. I give you this out because if you don't, you could be in basically a locked situation, and yeah, I could just say, hey, deal with it, but as we deal with 32 HP and -3 all, this is not a situation you want to be in, basically. That's all I'm trying to say. But I will gamble on 2 strong. So you shouldn't do this, what I'm doing here, but yeah, we're gonna see. I think this is actually 13. This should be just enough. Unless I miss this normal attack, in which case I'm just going to be sad. If I saw I hit both attacks and didn't defeat the enemy there, I would have done a thing. But yeah, oh, message log. Why did that happen? Is that because of Desperate Struggle? Well, I guess I'll look into that later, but let's actually get our happy ending. So, 73% Doom, we should be more than capable of surviving this. Actually, I'm not sure. So, we're going to find out. I should have picked up the painkillers before this. That's another small little min-max you could do. Grab the painkillers if you have the Doom to spare, especially if you have like 70% Doom. I say grab the painkillers if you're in a town mystery for your last mystery. But let me just make sure. So, we lose 6 stamina here. So that means we definitely, unless we level up into like knowledge, or a stat increase basically. But either way, I'm going to do this just to be sure, because no matter what, I don't think I'm going to be burning through stuff. Also, I don't think I ever used the police station, but it shouldn't really matter because Takashi-san, unless he dodges 2 90% and maybe an 80%, nope, like a bunch of 90%, he should not be able to get up. In fact, he won't even do enough Doom to us for it to matter. But let's find out. Okay, we did get folklore studies, funny enough. We're still going to heal stamina, but yeah, this is a very powerful weapon. If we had the syringe, though, again, could be just as great. What I'm trying to say is that if I were working with the worst weapon, this was going to be a really intensive run. I did fight quite a bit of enemies that were not the easiest to deal with. I think most of them were just chunky with like 20, 30 plus HP. But we took Valentine's into Recluse because I went crazy. No, I'm going crazy. But hey, at least we survived the run. Again, it was a very strong weapon. Just in general, I think. Was that artwork going through the screen, by the way? Anywho, not really much else to say. If you have anything to say yourself, you know what to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to take much more of your time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!